Greetings, programs, and welcome back to Link's Awakening on Nintendo Switch. So, a little bit more housekeeping before I actually try to go to the next dungeon. Yes, I know, Dampe, you want to show me something. You'll be a bonus video. I'm not interested right now. If you head down here to the library, now that you have the Pegasus boots, little throwback, this was not in the original version of the game, but they added it in the director's cut version. Run across the back wall here to knock down this book. Read The Hidden Power of Color. Something under the gravestones, and then it gives you the directions, and numbers. So, we're actually going to go do this before we even try to progress through the game anymore. I kind of wish they would have added more stuff like this for this remake, but at least they left this one in here for us. And I still need a lot of rupees because soon here I will need that bow, and it's still stupidly expensive. But we just really quick head up here. Oh, and switch to these things that should have me good for a while. Also, can I just point out how goofy these zombies look? They already were kind of weird in the original version. They got weirder. So, head over to the cemetery, and right down here, where there's only 5 stones, you want to push them in the order the book tells you. Mind you, you can't actually push them the wrong direction, so all you really need to keep in mind is, the order. Come in here, and in the original version, these guys would actually test you to make sure that you were playing on a Game Boy Color, because they would actually ask you what color they were. Which is funny because their colors were set, and you could actually get in here on, a black and white Game Boy. Yeah, this is the hidden dungeon added in Link's Awakening Director's Cut. This is the Temple of Color or whatever. Doesn't take super long to get through, but it is very much worth going through. Especially for rooms like this. Which, nice little throwback to the original Zelda. Wait. Yeah, that's better. I'm trying to outpredict myself. These guys are a pain, as are these weird bouncing floors that will break after you bounce on them too many times. Like that. For all the places in the game that I actually have memorized fairly well, I will admit this one I don't remember as smoothly as other dungeons in the game. So you might see me get a little stuck, but just run in here, throw those guys in the hole, collect the beak that we're never going to use. And I should point out, new to this version of the game compared to the other one, if you noticed when I not hit him and picked him up, the blue guy had a square on his shell, and the red one had a circle. So you can't actually match the shapes if you're colorblind. So nice little touch that they added there. And here we've got these weird, like, I don't know what to call them, guys. They were a better enemy in the original one, where the way fewer pixels meant they could hide in these colored tiles better. So that's over here. Grab a key. You had a very obvious room reset when we walked back in there. Just because I felt like it. Most of these little color switch puzzles I do remember, but hopefully I'll be able to keep up remembering them. And here we have the first of 2 mini-bosses in this dungeon. I could not tell you what this guy's called. All I know is, I don't like him. Because this version, he is way better at just directly jumping on your head. So as you can see, I got my butt handed to me pretty fiercely there, actually. And yeah, he's an absolute nothing in the original game. This one, they stepped him up, and he was quite a bit harder, actually. And this early, we've already got the Nightmare Key. This is a pretty short little dungeon. So here you can see a little better the square on this guy and the circle on the other one. Do be careful also, because you can fall in these holes. They are like true programmed pits. Come in here, and already we're fighting the second mini-boss. Who is also an absolute pain to deal with. You can damage him with your sword, but I find it's a little bit easier just to do bombs and stay down here. These rocks are quite random. So just keep launching bombs, and he goes down pretty quick. Again, it's the easiest way to deal with his butt. Get another fairy for our troubles. Take those guys out. Pick up the pot to find the not-so-hidden switch. Remember that I went the wrong way and go back because I need a key. And again, this version, such a lifesaver. This will stay solved. And the door in this room will stay open as well. Both of those used to reset every time on the old version. It's laughable, actually, how late you get the map in this dungeon. I forgot just how late it is. Hey, don't push me out the door, you idiot. So, these guys will actually pop back open after a few moments if you don't pick them up, but they do stay put once you put them in the hole, thankfully. But overall, they're not too bad. So, actually go through here now. Hit the most pointless crystal switch ever. And we are all ready to take on the boss. So, thing with this guy is you have to keep dealing damage to him as fast as you can. As noted by him being like, take your time. So, when he actually has you swarmed like that, just go ahead and tank it, because it'll keep you pressed up against him and make it easier to take him out. And you'll notice that even though he was the final boss, now we got our teleport. That is because in here, Fairy Queen will give us the power of color. Which I'm going to take the red mail because I enjoy having basically a permanent piece of power. But you can come back here at any time using that warp and switch to the other color if you want. So you are not locked in, thankfully. So as you can see already on these ghosts, which, as I recall in the original game, were called like Genie or Genie. It was a really weird spelling. I do have the Zelda Encyclopedia, so I will throw up on screen how you spell them, as well as I will throw up the name of those weird teleporting guys from level 3. But we are done with that, so now we can actually start heading over to get into the next dungeon. Which, on the way here, we'll talk to Terran and let him borrow the stick we got from the monkeys. And get the honeycomb. And one of the more amusing little scenes in the game. And go ahead and blast through this wall. Find one of the hidden fairy springs, new to this version. Or, not new to this version, but the little fairy flying around is new, since this version added bottles. The fairy spring was there in every, since the original, as I recall. And did I... Okay, I think I already got it. At this point, I'm going to be forgetting which secret shells I've gotten and which ones I haven't, so you may see me double-checking once in a while. And those Mad Bombers are still the single most annoying enemy ever in 2D Zelda. If we head down here, remove this bush and throw it at him, because why not? We get our little secret passage across the river. And down there, that piece of heart we will have to come back for, obviously. But come down here. And here we have the Animal Village, which, as a little kid, was always my favorite area to just randomly, pointlessly explore. And I have to say, I still quite enjoy it, because if you take a moment to listen to the music here, they actually have they've made this music with the whole with animals, so it's dogs and cats. And run in here real quick, talk to the bear, Chef Bear, pardon me, and give them the honeycomb to get a pineapple. As well as here, he gives you the hint of using Marin to get past, quote-unquote, that tub of goo on the way into the desert. So, first I will go over and actually introduce that tub of goo. Oh, and, I guess, I've read, I haven't actually bothered checking, these new apples that grow, when you see the green ones, these ones actually restore more hearts than the red ones. Over here, you get the Sleeping Walrus. Can't remember if he responds to this. No, he does not. Okay. There is a trick with him in the ocarina a little later, so we'll come back and deal with that, but for now, they said go get Marin, so we're gonna go and find Marin. Again, these warp pads are so much better, because not only are there more of them, but you actually get to pick where you want to go on the map instead of just jumping in endlessly until you come out the right spot. So, as you'll see, Marin is actually not in her normal spot. There's some NPC in the village around here who will mention that she went down to the beach. I can't remember who it is. I don't really care to find them. Again, this is not a guide playthrough, this is just someone who's played this game way too many times, playing it again. Also, this bombable wall here. Remember this. Right now, as you can tell, there's quote-unquote nothing here. Which, funny enough, in the original version of the game, this was actually truly empty right now. But later, there will be something in there to interact with, and it is very much worth interacting with. Blue Ruby, thank you. Oh, and if this monkey's driving you nuts, dash into the tree, knock him out. And apparently, I missed the chest. I will take 50 rupees. And down here, we finally have Marin. So we will stay and talk with her for a while. So, as usual, I shut up during the fun little scenes like that. But instead of just taking Marin to see the walrus, there's actually a few things you can do while you have her with you. So, to finish up this video, we're going to do a couple of those things. And then in the next part, we will actually take her to the walrus. But just right down here is the first of the secrets with her. Link just being far too overly stoic for this little this art style, but it's enjoyable. So yeah, anyone who didn't care for, you know, Link's oddly silent portrayal in Breath of the Wild, that's been a joke all the way back since 1993, I think it is, this game first came out. So, next little trick you can do with Marin is actually jump back down here, where you most likely got your first piece of heart. And she'll land on your head. Yeah, she doesn't like it when you attack the chickens. Although, if you attack them enough, sometimes, yeah, she does that. She just turns maniacal out of nowhere. Then tries to act like nothing happened. And for the last trick, go ahead and take her to the Trinity game. Which does actually cost you money to let her do. So yeah, anyone who remembers this from the original game, the new animations really improve this scene. And then she gets kicked out for being a pro. So, I'm going to actually end the video here. And in the next part, I will meet you guys over in Animal Village to continue our quests to gain access to level 4. So, see you guys then.